in fall camp are difficult to evaluate. You know, obviously we've been going 2-1 and 2-1 and had 2 practices yesterday, so you know, you got a little bit of a weary team, but one of the things you have to learn in camp is you got to fight weary. You know, that's one of the things you got to do in the season. There's a lot of difficulty, there's a lot of circumstances and adversity that you have to overcome, and that's one of the things that we're trying to work mentally to get our players to be able to do, you know, as a football team. And obviously the more maturity you have, the more experience you have, you know, those guys seem to be able to do it a little better. And we have some young guys that probably need to make some improvement, you know, in that area. So, but we have a long way to go as a team. We had probably far too many penalties out there today, too many missed assignments, too many mental errors. But if we played perfect today, we probably wouldn't need to practice however many more practices. I guess this was the 10th practice or 11th practice or whatever. We wouldn't need to practice 20 more practices for the first game. So, you know, we have things that we need to improve on. This will certainly give us a great barometer of where we are as a team. We can evaluate a lot of players to see how they responded in a competitive situation and how they competed and how they played. I saw a lot of good things out there from a lot of players, but I also saw a lot of things that we need to improve on to be a good football team and to play with consistency. We need more players to be able to do that. So, you know, we weren't able to run the ball effectively today or with any kind of consistency, which I think is a real key for us. I think our offensive line has actually improved over a year ago. So, you know, that's something that I think will be critical to team success. You know, you always got to be able to win on a line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and, you know, that's something that we want to do a better job of. We did make some big plays in the passing game, and I thought both quarterbacks played well when they had their opportunities, and, you know, it'll be interesting to sort of evaluate and see how all that went. You know, sometimes it's hard to evaluate when you're playing against, you got to evaluate who you're playing against sometimes too, and that's for everybody. So, you know, we got a lot to work on, and we're certainly looking forward to it. We have a team that has a chance to develop into something I think that could be pretty good. But everybody's commitment to that is going to be critical to development of that. I also think everybody's relationships with each other, you know, some people refer to it as team chemistry and maturity, are probably important to being successful. So, you know, how those kinds of things developed on this team will go a long way to determine the answers to all the questions that you have, I have, everyone has. And right now, there's no answers. You know, it's just a matter of, do we develop the answers? Okay.
Coach, just to follow up on the running game, when you say that you weren't able to be effective and yet the offensive line has improved, is it just team cohesion? Is it the running backs?
Well, I just think it's timing. I just think that you know, defensively we're you know, not bad against stopping the run, so that probably contributes to it to some degree. But I think a little of it is just consistency. You know, Vallejos missed 3 or 4 practices this week at center, which is an important part of it. We played Barrett Jones at center a little bit, just in an emergency if something would happen like that, you know, down the road. You know, Cyrus is playing some left tackle. He's a young guy that has a lot of potential, and so, you know, there's some moving parts there. At some point in time in this camp, we need to develop some cohesion, you know, in that. But I feel like that we have more power up front, and we should be a better running team.
I was going to ask you about Chance Warmack, just how he's looking so far and what the plan is for him.
Well, I think there's a lot of competition in the offensive line. You know, I think that, you know, we have 6 or 7 players that are pretty good players, and, you know, maybe all guys that I would consider starters, and he's one of those guys, but only 5 of those guys are going to play. So, you know, if we continue to develop a left tackle, Barrett Jones is always going to, obviously going to, you know, go back and play where he's always played at one of the guard positions. So, you know, there's a lot of competition right now, and we have, You know, if you count Barrett Jones as a guard, you know, Chance and Steen has done a really good job. So, you know, we've got 3 pretty good players, you know, there. So, you know, Chance has done a good job. He's improved. But, you know, I think that we obviously have more to do.
Coach, this is more of a general question, not specific to the scrimmage, but can you just talk about the job that Jeff Stoutland's done since he's joined the staff and how his players have responded to him?
Well, I think it's been a real positive transition. I was really concerned about, you know, Coach Pendry was a very good coach, did a great job, had sort of developed a lot of these guys and brought them up from the bootstraps. And you always get a little bit concerned because offensive linemen are probably one of the tightest knit groups of guys, typically personality-wise, on a team. They work together a lot. They watch film together a lot. They make calls and there's a lot of teamwork involved in what they do. So it develops a special sort of cohesion, and we certainly had that, and Coach Pendry did a good job of that. And Jeff did a fantastic job when he came in here of sort of winning the players over and developing their faith and trust and confidence, and I don't think it's been a problem, and he's done a really good job with the guys and helping them improve.
There was quite a bit of talk about the pass rush and affecting the quarterback, especially by the defensive linemen. Do you like what you see so far?
Well, you say there was quite a bit. Where was it? Because I'm not aware of it. So, you know, if you just want to talk about how's the pass rush, whether they talk about it or not really doesn't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? So, but, you know, I think we've improved in that area. We seem to have more athletic guys. You know, Courtney and Dante both have done a really good job in pass rush. You know, Hubbard's a guy that has a chance to add to that. He's really got some ability as a pass rusher. I think we have more athletic guys in the interior who may be able to push the pocket, even though I don't think we have one guy that's as good a pass rusher as a dominant guy as Marcel. I think we have more guys as a group who may be able to rush the passer. And, you know, we've done a pretty good job of that. I think, you know, last year we weren't an effective pressure team because we made a lot of mental errors in pressure. I don't think we have some of those issues, you know, this year. We've got a lot more knowledge and experience, and that should be a benefit to us.
Special teams today, how did they do? Were you happy with what you saw?
Well, I think that I was pleased with the specialist. The punters were much more consistent. The kickers, even though they missed a field goal here or there, they had plenty of opportunity, and the only ones they missed were tough kicks. And I think Cade made one from 51 yards or something like that, and he might have missed one from 45 and made one from 45. But I was pleased with the specialist. I still think that our returners are you know, areas where we need to make improvement in terms of who's going to really sort of ascend at those positions and give us the kind of returner that we need. I do think, you know, Marquise Mays has done a really good job and has improved in his ability to handle the ball and judge the ball, and his ball security has improved, and he certainly is explosive and the kind of guy that we need there. DeAndrew White has showed some promise in doing that. You know, Christian Jones has showed some promise in doing that. He struggled a little bit today, a couple times fielding the ball, but first time out there when they're covering live, you know, we'll see how he develops.
Just curious about Dante and his hand. How was he able to deal with that?
He did, I don't know, 90% of the scrimmage. I think we took him out when we got to goal line at the end, but you know, he did fine. He basically missed one practice. You know, he practiced twice yesterday, and you know, was able to scrimmage, you know, quite a bit, you know, today. You know, we held Vogler out. He's coming off a shoulder surgery. Alex Watkins, you know, we've only been practicing once a day, so we thought that it would be, we didn't scrimmage him today. but he's practiced, once a day, every day, all the way through, not had any issues. And, Ryan Kelly still has a little bit of a concussion, so he did not scrimmage today, but should be back shortly. D. Milner got hit in the chin today and got a laceration and a little ding. So he's the only guy that really got knocked out of the scrimmage for a little bit, but he should be okay shortly as well.
Last one, Coach, when we get the quarterback statistics, what context should we look at them in terms of how consistent were they? Was it big plays?
Well, you know what? I wasn't even going to give them to you, so you didn't have to worry about it. Would you all be happy with that? I mean, because, sometimes a guy's playing against the twos, which is a little bit different than when you play against the ones, and vice versa, for everybody out there. So how a guy does relative to his leadership, his command, the opportunities that he had, what receivers he had in there, who he was playing against. I mean, there's so many factors and variables, but that decision will not get made based on statistical information. So whatever analyzation that you do, which is why I would rather not give you the stats one way or the other, it's not just about stats. It's who can play winning football at the position. So, and there's a lot of reasons for why the ball was incomplete. And some of them, you've heard me give this speech before. Quarterback is a hard position to play when the people around you don't play well. All right, so if you're getting pressure or the receivers aren't getting open, you're going to have a hard time being effective. And that's not just about what you do. And that goes for both guys. So, we're not giving out statistics on how the quarterback did because, I don't want to make this a public controversy. All right, this is something that's going to be managed internally. We're going to handle it internally with the players. They're doing a great job of handling it, and they don't need anybody else to add to the confusion of what we're managing relative to those two guys competing for this position. And they're doing a great job of it. So, if everybody else would just be patient and allow them to do a great job of it, I'd be very, very happy and pleased with your professionalism.
Thanks, Coach.